Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is August 5th, 2024 and Fenerbahçe will not give up on the pursuit of İlkay Gundogan. Also, Barcelona have communicated to Pau Victor that they want him as part of the first team for this upcoming season. And finally, Vitor Roque prioritizes going to Europe if he has to leave Barcelona. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before I begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. All this helps this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the Goal Kit, Skip Bag, or Fanatics. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us. All the links are down below in the description. Now begin with the news that our youngster Fermín Lopez has once again scored in the Olympics, this time against Morocco, where Spain were losing 1-0, but Fermín Lopez tied the game with his goal where he found a loose ball in the box, and then Spain ended up winning the match 2-1. And with that, Spain are in the finals of the Olympics, with Fermín Lopez having a chance at winning Olympic gold. And I have to say, Fermín Lopez is absolutely killing it during these Olympics, building up on his great performance during last season. And with this goal, Fermín Lopez now has 16 goals for club and country through the season, which is not bad for someone who A, is a midfielder, and B, spent more than half of the season on the bench, which just goes to show what a great player we have in Fermín Lopez. And it's one of the reasons why I said that I did not want Dani Olmo, which is something I said during the podcast, but in case you did not watch it, I said the reason I'm so opposed to Dani Olmo is because not only is the club spending 60 million euros, which is money they don't have on a player they don't need, but in bringing Dani Olmo, you can potentially curtail the growth of players like Fermín Lopez, who continues to show time and time again that he deserves minutes on the first team. Now, speaking of academy players, it's pretty interesting. This might not be huge news, but it has been brought up that it seems that Sergio Roberto has actually been training at the Ciudad Esportiva, even though he is no longer a Barcelona player. And as you know, Sergio Roberto's contract expired on June 30th. He was hoping that the club would extend it. The club was going to extend it per Xavi's request, but then when Xavi left and Flick came, he was no longer a priority for Flick, so Barcelona decided not to extend the contract of Sergio Roberto for now, that they were going to wait until the end of the summer transfer market to see whether there's enough space on the wage bill to register him or not. And of course, Sergio Roberto has already began looking for new clubs because he cannot wait until the end of the summer transfer market for Barcelona, because he could risk ending up without a club. And it seems that Barcelona have been allowing him to train at the Ciudad Esportiva. So Sergio Roberto has been seen training there so he can stay in shape for the upcoming season. Of course, he's been training on his own. He's not part of the team anymore. Barcelona allowing Sergio Roberto to train at the Ciudad Esportiva, as our former captain continues to look for his next destination, which he wants it to be outside of La Liga, because he does not want to play against his boyhood club, FC Barcelona. Now on to more news, because Fenerbahçe are not giving up the pursuit of İlkay Gundogan. And there were already rumors at the beginning of this summer linking Fenerbahçe to İlkay Gundogan. They were very interested in bringing him. Of course, it seems that İlkay Gundogan had said in the past that he would like to retire in Turkey. And as such, Fenerbahçe's president even came forward saying that he wanted to sign İlkay Gundogan. Of course, those rumors died down immediately, because İlkay Gundogan was very clear that he wanted to stay in Barcelona, that he was happy in Barcelona. However, it seems that Fenerbahçe are still on the pursuit of İlkay Gundogan, because their current coach, Jose Mourinho, would like to have Gundogan on his team. So much so that Jose Mourinho has personally requested from Fenerbahçe that they do everything in their power to try to sign Gundogan. And in fact, Mourinho has even requested that he call the player personally. So not the sporting director, not representatives of the club. No, Mourinho wants to personally call İlkay Gundogan tell him what kind of role he wants. He wants him at Fenerbahçe, and Mourinho wants Fenerbahçe to do everything in their power to try to sign Gundogan. Now, Gundogan has not responded to this yet, but as we know from day one, Gundogan is happy at Barcelona. He wants to continue at Barcelona, so I imagine that's still going to be his posture. But of course, once he does officially respond to this, I will bring you the news on the channel. Now, more news because Barcelona have officially communicated to Pau Victor that they want him on the first team. Now, Pau Victor had a spectacular season last season with Barca Athletic, where he spent there on loan from Girona. So much so that Barcelona decided to sign him on a permanent transfer during this summer transfer market, which they did for around 3 million euros from Girona. So far, he has been impressing in the preseason, scoring 1 goal against Manchester City and 2 goals against Real Madrid. And he has impressed Hansi Flick so much throughout the preseason, not only in matches but in training as well, that Barcelona have now communicated to Pau Victor that he will be a member of the first team. Now, as I told you in yesterday's video, Hansi Flick is actually more impressed with Pau Victor over Vitor Roque. He considers Pau Victor to be kind of like the #1 substitute for Robert Lewandowski now. So as such, Barcelona will be counting on Pau Victor as part of their first team for the upcoming season, of course, pending registration because his contract is yet to be registered, but it is a smaller contract, which I can't imagine will be a difficult task for Barcelona. Now, the interesting thing about Pau Victor, and I just found that out today, but when he was a kid, he actually tried out for the Barcelona Academy twice, and both times he was rejected, so he had to go somewhere else. Then, he came back on loan last season. He did great. He had offers from other clubs in La Liga and outside of Spain, but he still said yes to Barcelona because he's always been a culé as a kid, which is a pretty great story because it just shows his determination to play for Barcelona. He was rejected twice, but he kept working hard. He kept fighting. He came back on loan. He kept working. He kept fighting. And now he's officially a Barcelona player, and it looks like he's going to be a first-team player officially this upcoming season. Now, speaking of Vitor Roque, since we did mention him, it's reported that the Brazilian player does not want to leave, but if he does, he wants it to be to Europe. Now, as I told you a few moments ago, it seems that Flick is not too impressed with Vitor Roque. He prefers Pau Victor over Vitor Roque as being Robert Lewandowski's substitute. For now, Roque is not looking to leave Barcelona. He's convinced that if Hansi Flick gives him minutes in his natural position, which is the center forward position, that he would be able to impress him. However, Roque does understand that he only has until the end of the preseason to impress Flick, and that if he cannot impress Flick, that Barcelona will push for his exit. However, he has made it very clear that even though he does want to stay in Barcelona, that if Barcelona wants him to leave, it's only going to be to another European club. And that comes on the back of the fact that Saudi Arabia have been pushing very, very hard for Vitor Roque. They're willing to offer Barcelona a lot of money for the player. They're willing to offer the player a lot of money as salary, more specifically Al Hilal, which is where Neymar plays. But Vitor Roque making it very clear that A, I want to stay in Barcelona, but B, if I do have to leave, it's not going to be the Saudi, it's going to be to another European club. Now, so far, the only European club who are willing to sign Vitor Roque on a permanent basis is Lazio, which I told you about in a previous video. They're willing to offer 20 million euros for 50% of the rights of the player. There are other clubs who are interested in the loan, such as Real Betis, Valencia, and Porto. The only thing is Barcelona are not too sure about a loan. They think that a loan could be risky because if they loan Vitor Roque and his loan fails, where he fails to impress at another team, his value is going to plummet even more, and then Barcelona could end up losing their investment. So a decision will be made, a final decision will be made at the end of the preseason once the team comes back from the USA tour. Then Barcelona will decide what to do and whether Vitor Roque stays or not, and if he leaves, whether it's going to be on loan or exit, permanent exit, and which club is it going to be to. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. I did do a podcast earlier today. Lots of news in that podcast. Make sure you check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.